is no place I'd rather be than walking right down the middle of Main Street, USA with you all this holiday season. Welcome to episode 9 here on the Blue Sky Lounge, and as you can see, we've already had our holiday turnover happen. I am your host, Tyler Iantkow. Today's episode is about holiday turnovers and how to incorporate them more into the Disney parks and resorts. This week's guest is Kristin, and she and her family have visited Disney World many times over the holidays. She and I are going to discuss different things that have come and gone and what we would like to see happen during the holidays in the parks and resorts. Please welcome Kristin to the show. All right, well, welcome Kristin to the Blue Sky Lounge. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing well, Tyler. How are you up in Canada?
Very well, thank you.
Cold.
Very chilly, but very well.
Awesome. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
No problem. As you can see, it is our Christmas episode with my Christmas tree behind us. So
I love it. I love that you have the Christmas tree up and all the decorating. I need to get decorating, so you are on top of it.
We try. We try to do the quick turnover like Disney does.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Doing the quick 24 hours. Do you do it during the middle of the night too? Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
How did you get started? When did you start loving Disney? What got you started? Was there a certain movie, certain character, things like that? And then your Disney trip from then on.
Gotcha. I was like, how long do we have? Not a certain character, a certain movie. Basically the family. I was just born into it. You know, I first went to Disney when I was 5 years old, and ever since then, we went every other year. And I actually knew, it's crazy enough, when I was in 7th grade, two things. One, that I wanted to become an Imagineer. Then I quickly found out that you have to major in engineering, so that dream went goodbye. Then my new dream became, working at Disney one day as an intern, which, we worked together at Kilimanjaro Safaris, which was the dream job. That was still, working as a TV reporter, a TV news reporter for the past 12 years, I can still say that working for Disney was and is the best job I've ever had. It's just a magical place. So that was kind of the plan, and kind of building up and knowing that that's what I wanted to do. And, here we are. Gosh, I don't want to reveal my age, but how many years later? And I'm still just as obsessed, if not even more than I was when I was 5 years old.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
What was your first thing that you thought of for our Christmas episode?
All right. So, we were talking about, holiday overlays, and I think it's always so fun because one of my favorite times to go to any of the Disney parks is during the holiday season, whether that's Christmas or whether that's Halloween. I love seeing the decorations. And I also really love to see the special things that you can't see during other times of the year.
Yeah.
I actually had the opportunity last year to go to Disneyland and see the Haunted Mansion, and that all done up with The Nightmare Before Christmas. And that was something I had never seen, primarily going to Disney World. And that was very, very cool. And being with somebody who is obsessed with Nightmare Before Christmas made it even more special. But it's those little touches, those little things that really, really draw me in. And I had been thinking about this because I love those little things, and speaking of Disneyland, I always thought, which was so cool, was It's a Small World and the lights. You think of Christmas, you think of lights.
Yeah.
And I am far from, the only person when, I say that I definitely miss the Osborne lights. I know. It kills me. It kills me. But one of the ideas that I had, now it was recent and I have not been on this, but the Tomorrowland, the Speedway, they had recently, I guess within the past couple of years, had made it so that it was like a Christmas overlay where you can kind of drive through and like see some of the lights, which I thought was really cool. Because for me, growing up, one of the things that we did every year was when we went and visited family in Detroit, was we went through one of those parks, like just a park where it's like a mile long and you see all the lights and there's animatronic things, and it's very popular. A lot of people have them in their communities. Well, I thought, a way of taking an attraction that, maybe not as many people or adults go on anymore, and somehow, I mean, if you could get the Osbournes back, but if not, making it into one of those things where it really is like not just like, okay, well, you're just on a track and you can't go that fast, but if you had something to look at, and you were like under this umbrella of lights, and there were these things moving and twinkling and synchronized with music. And I think that's the other key, is having to synchronize with music. So taking something that we do, or a lot of people do, or that I've done every year at Christmas, and then making that into that attraction and getting more people there, I think would be absolutely amazing.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. I was thinking like Osbourne lights, like what could you do with that? And I was thinking like, okay, like maybe you could find a way to bring them back somewhere, whether it's like maybe like in Epcot by the land or something. I don't know. Or and I thought the Tomorrowland Speedway would be a good one for it, where you could drive around and like see a whole bunch of Christmas displays set to music. So we thought the same on that. But another place that I thought you could do it would be Disney Springs.
Okay.
You could just like create it all along the streets in Disney Springs there, and have huge, like, you could make like fountains in like the big lagoon there by Morimoto's stuff. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah. Or another one that I was actually thinking of would be the Walt Disney World Railroad, and just taking all of the backstage area and then making it into an experience. Because a lot of things too, like people take the train, holiday trains, and you could do something like that too, where you could have music and go around and see different things like that. It would be a way to people that like can kind of divert some of the crowds, which is number one. And number two, then getting people who want to like take a break, especially if they have little ones like they would be a really great idea to kind of do something like that.
Awesome.
So I was thinking of I'm primarily, a lot of the ideas that I was coming up with were geared towards attractions that had maybe been lacking in popularity over the years, or needed kind of a little bit of a rehab. And I thought, okay, what's another thing that I do at Christmas, and that would be very related to Disney? And okay, well, I watch certain Disney movies, and one that comes to mind is The Muppets Christmas Carol.
Classic.
So if Disneyland can create a whole new, basically, audio and overlay with the Haunted Mansion, why can't they create a special Muppets Vision 3D Muppets Christmas Carol?
That would be so cool.
Right?
That would be
awesome.
That
is one of those that like has needed dire repair, and I know it went through rehab, like a refurb, but like it's needed something. And I thought about that, and I'm like, okay, if they could figure out a way to make that happen, that would be awesome. And one other idea I had, Tyler, my favorite Disney movie is Mulan, but mainly not the new one, but although that wasn't bad, the live action one, but the older one, because of the music, but kind of tied with it also because of the music, is Beauty and the Beast. I know a lot of people love that as well. So seeing that the Beauty and the Beast stage show is going away, it kind of made me a little bit sad, but I knew it was good time. But The other thing that I thought was, Beauty and the Beast does have that sort of Christmas tie-in as well.
Mm-hmm.
And why not use that just during the holiday season? You already have the stage, you already have the plot. Why not make a Beauty and the Beast holiday show based on the Beauty and the Beast Enchanted Christmas?
Yeah.
It's another thing that's not necessarily a ride, but is an attraction that you can only find during the holiday season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think that would be very well received, because everybody loves the Beauty and the Beast stage show. Like,
absolutely,
the theater's almost always full. Whenever we go, at least. Yeah, and I think having that Christmas overlay for that would be a perfect fit.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I was thinking for Beauty and the Beast would be, there's the Enchanted Stories with Belle.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where you could make that Christmas themed, and like she could come out in like her Christmas outfit instead of the big yellow ball gown, and just deck it out in all like Christmas decorations and stuff like that. Like, I think it's a super simple thing to do. You could, instead of telling the story of Beauty and the Beast, you could tell the Enchanted Christmas story that they have, and have like the people act out different things in that story instead.
I love it.
Yeah.
And like you said, just such simple changes, but such great things that will be well received, I think, because it being so many people's favorite movie. So and I've been to the storytelling with Belle once. I was not with a kid, but it's okay. And I thought it was really cute, and there was always a lot of people there, so it's definitely cool. So we talked a lot about, obviously, the attractions and the parks. Now, me, I love this too, but if you're talking to my mom, one of her favorite things to do is visit the resorts.
Mm-hmm.
She absolutely loves, the gingerbread house at the Grand Floridian.
So
she absolutely loves, the carousel at the beach club or the yacht club. And so those sort of things, especially very sad that some of those things aren't happening this year. It's sad to see, but hopefully they'll be back next year, along with the Candlelight Processional and the very Merry Christmas Party. But having, I think, more of those at more of the hotels, and getting them at, some of the other hotels would, I think, be really, really cool. Especially like maybe some of more of the moderate places as well. Like how they celebrate Christmas down in New Orleans, or Coronado. I think they have a lot of really great traditions that they could bring that people may not know about, that could be both a fun experience as well as an educational one, and would be very simple to do.
Especially with like Animal Kingdom Lodge, you could do, because in Africa there's tons of different religions and stuff over there that don't necessarily celebrate Christmas, but they might celebrate something else around that holiday season that they could go off of. So.
Absolutely. And it's so fun to learn the different cultures, and I love Animal Kingdom Lodge, just going over there in general. So I think that would be very, very cool to do something like that. Absolutely. And I mentioned that you'd asked me what my favorite resort is, and I mentioned Beach Club, and just kind of a fun thing to do, because you always talk about building a snowman, and you think that I'm gonna go to Frozen, but I'm not gonna go to Frozen when I say this, is actually building, like having a sandcastle contest, but building snowman, and doing it at properties that have the beaches, like Beach Club or perhaps Polynesian, where you could kind of do like, build your best snowman sandcastle, which I think would be really kind of cool, because it would be like a way to get, you get tired during the day and you want to go back and you want to go relax, and you do something like that. Plus, you're bringing that it's Florida meets winter sort of thing. And so that was just like something little that I thought of, but I think the more, in general, more of the gingerbread things that we can get to any of the any other resorts, I would be a total fan of. I love them so much.
Yeah. That's awesome. I was thinking for gingerbread, a gingerbread, almost like silverback gorilla or something for Animal Kingdom would be really cool.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. When I was thinking, I'm like, okay, what could you put in at like Animal Kingdom Lodge? It's like, well, there's a bunch of animals there. Why don't you make an animal out of gingerbread?
Yeah. Or like you could use chocolate, do something like that too. Would be very, very cool. Yeah.
I love the idea of the moderate resorts too, having them do certain things like that.
Yeah, I think they sometimes, don't get as much love, and a lot more of the focus is on the deluxe resorts, but getting people over there, especially with like the newest resort, I think would be very cool, to go over there. And Coronado has great theming. That could be perfect for something like that.
For sure.
Not a moderate, but a deluxe resort like Animal Kingdom could be another great one where you could have really, really cool things, get people over to the resort that may not have been there. And then you're also having a learning experience as well for the entire family. Yeah.
What is your favorite thing to do during the holidays in Disney?
Favorite thing to do? I would actually probably say the candlelight processional.
Yeah.
And I'm very sad. I mean, not that I'm going this year, but I was also sad to see that it was canceled. I understand, keeping people safe, but I really, really like it. My favorite time was with Neil Patrick Harris, and that was one of the most amazing experiences. And I will advise to anybody, who's watching this, to take advantage of the dinner packages that they have, because they do fill up, the lines fill up very quickly. If you are just doing standby, you're going to have to get in line several hours before. And even then, it's not a guarantee. And so getting a reserved seat, not having to worry about that and the stress, and then getting a great dinner, because Epcot obviously has phenomenal restaurants. It's the way to go. So that's my one piece of advice for anybody who is wanting to do the candlelight processional, is to check out, if you can, the dinner package. It's just like, it's one of those things, it's the nostalgic Disney. It's this nostalgic Christmas, I should say. And has been part of it for such a long time. And it's something my whole family really loves, and I really love, and hopefully it'll be around when I can take my kids there.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't see it going away. Like, obviously it did go away this year, but it's such a big tradition that I don't see that going away anytime soon. So. And
what I love, by the way, side note, another reason why it's so cool is that they use cast members as part of the choir. So that's what's really cool. They're showcasing the talents of the cast members, which we obviously know. Being cast members, there's so many talented cast members, but the fact that, they get to be a part of that and to show off their talents is really, really cool. And I think a lot of people may not know that when they're going to see one of these shows.
One of the guys I have coming on in a few weeks did candlelight while he was on his cultural rep program.
Oh, cool.
When I was in Canada, and he did candlelight, which was really cool.
That is really awesome. I'm jealous. That's so cool. Well, so hopefully, I don't know whether maybe the bigwigs at Disney will ever see some of these ideas, but hopefully we should get them to them, because I think you got some great ideas there, Tyler, and I'd love to see some of these ideas implemented as well. It'd be really, really cool. Yes. Especially hint Osborne's. If we ever get that back.
Wink, wink, Disney. Wink,
wink. Exactly. Good things to come. Good things to come. And I know this has been definitely a hard year, but I'm really glad that you're doing this. And I know that it's definitely making me smile to see things like this. And I know it's going to make a lot of people smile to see your podcast. So
Well,
thanks so much, Tyler, for doing
thank
this,
you.
and thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Well, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate that. And yeah, it's been a long time, but I'm glad that you could come on and we could have a little chat.
Yes, definitely. Anytime you want to have me back,
Awesome.
I'm more than willing.
Awesome.
All right. Well, hey, say hi to the family for me, okay?
All right, I will for sure.
Thanks again, Kristin. Jen suggested a very imaginative overlay for the Mad Tea Party and put a Pluto's Christmas tree overlay on top of it. So on top of all of the teacups, they would turn into Christmas ornament balls, and the giant teapot in the middle would turn into a giant Christmas tree with Chip and Dale running through it. I think this is such an imaginative and awesome idea. I love that cartoon so much and have always been a huge Chip and Dale fan. I think that turning the teapot into a giant Christmas tree would look so cool with all the ornaments on it and Chip and Dale running around. I was actually thinking of an overlay for this ride myself and thought that it would be really neat to put little wreaths around the teacups on the saucers with little baubles on it, and you could also decorate the teapot as a Christmas tree and have Christmas ornaments all on it as well. And in the background you could have the Christmas music playing, but it would be in the style of A Very Merry on Birthday with the whistles from the song integrated into the holiday songs. I think that would sound so much fun. Tom had the same idea as Kristin for decorating the Tomorrowland Speedway with Christmas and festive decorations. He said I would probably have fake snow and lights everywhere, and then jingle bells on the cars themselves. Tom, I think this is a great idea. I love the idea of making the cars festive as well, and not just the surroundings. I love the idea of the jingle bells on the cars. It would be fun every time when the car bangs against the track that you hear this little ding-a-ling. I think that would be. What if you were to put antlers on the cars as well, and you can almost have them be like reindeer from the season? I think that would look really funny, and every few cars could almost have a red nose on it, like Rudolph. Like Kristin and myself, Jean wants to bring back the Osborne Festival of Dancing Lights. She says, I really miss the Osborne Festival of Lights, so something that incorporates sound, sight, and feeling would make it feel like Christmas time again. I remember walking under the canopy of the dancing lights with hot cocoa in my hand and a blanket around my shoulders. It was always what kept me sane in Florida in December. Like I mentioned with Kristin, I think that this totally needs to return. I think it could totally work in Disney Springs, like I mentioned, and not only could you do it for the winter holidays, but you could also do it for other holidays as well. Not just Christmas, but maybe Halloween or the 4th of July or Valentine's Day. Just hang multicolored LEDs and you can program them to different songs and different types of music. For Valentine's Day, you could have love songs from princess movies like Someday My Prince Will Come or Kiss the Girl. For the 4th of July, you can have patriotic music. And for Halloween, anything from Nightmare Before Christmas, The Haunted Mansion, or even the Bare Naked Ladies cover of Grim Grinning Ghosts. The possibilities are endless. And I think having those lights over top of Disney Springs, playing with the music, I think would draw a huge crowd into Disney Springs and would have a huge hit with the guests as well. Colin gave great suggestions for a new idea for a gingerbread house at the Port Orleans Resort. He said, I would draw inspirations from Princess and the Frog, Bayou vibes, swampy looking green vines draped from the eaves, and maybe some Bourbon Street balconies, and you can't forget a frog or two. I love Disney gingerbread houses, and this one sounds amazing. As soon as I read this, I instantly thought of the scene from the movie of Princess and the Frog, where Tiana is about to kiss Naveen on the balcony, just to turn him back into a prince. You could just have this amazing looking house with all the huge sweeping staircases, like the one that Charlotte runs down just as she's about to dance with the fake Prince Naveen, and of course, have the soon-to-be amphibious lovers on a balcony just about to kiss. And lastly, Pia wants to bring back the holiday wishes at the Disney Store. Pia, as a former Disney Store cast member, I totally remember this ceremony and I loved it. For those of you who don't know the holiday wishes, Pia, as a former Disney Store cast member, I totally remember this ceremony. And for those of you who don't know about the Holiday Wishes ceremony, it happened at the end of the day. It ran from approximately 2013 to 2015, where a voiceover would come on and encourage you to make your own holiday wish. It then asks you to whisper that wish into your hands, have you rub your hands together, and then blow your wish into the store. And as you did that, all of the trees in the imagination stores projected sparkling pixie dust trails into it, and you could see your wish float away into the store, and it would turn into fireworks. I absolutely love this, and especially seeing families do this and little kids get to see their wish fly into the store always warmed up my heart at the end of the day. And I absolutely love this and would love to see it return to the Disney stores. And that's a wrap for this week's show. All of those ideas were full of festive fun. Join Gary and I next week for our fireworks episode. Comment below with your phantasmic ideas for fireworks, and if you have any Christmas overlay ideas, make sure to share those ideas as well. And get your thinking caps on for our show in 2 weeks where we have our Disney Charities show. Now if you have any ideas for today's or a future show, leave a comment down below or email me at theblueskylounge@gmail.com. We are also on most social media platforms by searching the Blue Sky Lounge, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Now please note that this podcast is not affiliated with Disney in any way. This is a fan-run show featuring fan ideas and art that is in no way a true representation of what may happen in the future in the Disney company. Now thank you so much for joining us here at the Blue Sky Lounge. Now please note that this podcast is not affiliated with Disney in any way. This is a fan-run show with fan ideas and art that is in no true representation of what may happen in the future within the Disney company. Now thank you so much for taking time out of your week to come join us here at the Blue Sky Lounge. And remember to think, dream, believe, and dare yourself to use your imagination. Who knows what kind of blue sky thinking you can do from your armchair. Thanks.